I'm Kristen and you're watching my channel, Kristen Cooks. And in today's video, I am doing a quick shortcut recipe using biscuit dough. So let's get into it. So I have a can of jumbo biscuits, the flaky kind. And I'm just going to break it open here on the countertop and get all these little biscuits out. There's 8 in a container. I'm going to end up using 2 for my family 4. This will serve us all very nicely for dinner, and then we'll have a little bit left over for lunch. So I'm just going to take each little biscuit round and pat it out, and I eventually did get my rolling pin, but I'm just making them bigger and a lot thinner so that they bake more evenly. And also they are very sticky when they come out of the can, of course, and they'll stick to your hands and cutting board. So I just sprinkled mine with some flour and it was fine. Just flip that biscuit over back and forth to get it the surfaces coated in the flour and they won't stick. So I'm just patting them out as thin as I can without being too thin, because you don't want the biscuits to tear when you fill them and seal them and all that. So, somewhere in the middle between thick and really thin is where you want it. So I just thought this would be a really good idea for back to school. There's really no cooking in this. The thing that takes the longest part is what you're seeing here. Is just patting out and thinning out each biscuit, and then putting all the filling in, sealing them, and then I brush them with a garlic butter before putting them in the oven. But it's really easy. As you can see here, this is what they look like when I have them all flattened out. And then you just put on your favorite brand of marinara sauce. I think the Rao's is the best, but it is also one of the most expensive in the store. So, but use what you want. I normally will just use Barilla, that brand. But anywho, so you just put a little bit of the marinara sauce down on half of the biscuit, being careful to leave, a lip of space so that you can pinch and seal each calzone. Oh, these are mini calzones, by the way. Before you put them, in the oven. And I'm trying to do this as neatly as I can. This was like the first or second one I did, so I was a little bit messy. It's just a messy job anyway. But I'm just trying to be as neat as I can. So, and you can put whatever toppings you want. I did one can I did with just pepperoni, and the other can I filled with Italian sausage and pepperoni. But, the options are endless. You could do an all veggie. You could do just cheese. You could do, meat and cheese. I mean, there's just a lot of different ways you can go with this little recipe here. I'll write down all the steps that I did in the description box if you want to recreate this for yourself. I baked this for most of it at 350, but I did end up turning the oven up for the last 10 minutes or so, just so they could get a little bit more golden brown on the outside. All right, so here we are with just the pepperoni. It looks like pepperoni and cheese. So you just fill one half of the biscuit and then take the other half and fold it over the filling and then kind of pinch it closed. You want to leave enough overhang from the top half of the biscuit to seal it with a fork. You'll see in just a second. But this is really easy. And I think you could easily probably assemble these, bake them off, and I think you could probably easily freeze these and then reheat in the air fryer, or maybe first the microwave and then the air fryer. I don't know. I haven't played with that yet, but that could be an option too for meal prep. So yeah, as you can see, I have this fork, and with the tines of the fork, I'm just pressing the top and the bottom together to seal the calzones so that the filling doesn't ooze out in the oven. And it worked really well, actually. There was no oozing. There was no problem. It was cooked just nicely. So now that I have all of the calzones assembled, I just have a half a stick of melted butter here, and I added in a bunch of fresh garlic, probably 3 or 4 cloves, and some Italian seasoning. And I think I put in a little bit of Italian or garlic salt too, not Italian salt. But you just take a little basting brush and baste each calzone before you put it in the oven, and this will help them to get really nice and golden brown in the oven. Yeah, this turned out way better than I thought, actually. I mean, how exciting can it get with, biscuit dough? But this is just a really, really easy shortcut where you can make these and you don't have to go through the process of making your own pizza dough from scratch. You could, but that just would complicate this way more than necessary. So the biscuit dough the store-bought biscuits are just perfect for this type of recipe. And like I said, I'll definitely make these again. And I think I'll play around a little bit more with the process of freezing them and reheating them and just seeing how that goes. And if it works out fine, I'll probably stock my freezer with these. So I don't know if this was really necessary, but I decided to cut just a few little slits on the top of each one, just to make sure that they don't expand too much in the oven. And then, we have a big mess in, where they're just kind of empty and everything's spilled out. But anyway, so as I said before, like 350, I ended up baking mine for about 25 minutes altogether. I did a little bit longer because I have 2 cans of biscuits here, but 350, I checked them after about 15 minutes just to see where they were as far as being golden brown on top, and they needed longer and more golden, so I raised the temperature of the oven to 375 and baked them for another 10 minutes, and they came out just perfect. Also, for an extra little step here, I am gonna sprinkle some grated Parmesan cheese on top of each one, just for a little extra something on top, and then put these in the oven. All right, so these came out really perfect after about 25 minutes baking in the oven, and they were just delicious. I dipped mine in some ranch and had a side Caesar salad. So thank you so much for watching my video. These mini calzones, were very good, very easy to make. I just thought these would be a really good thing to make for dinner for your kids when they're after a long day back at school. I'm sure a lot of people are already back in school, but over here in Oregon, we start right after Labor Day, so we haven't started school yet. But this is just a really good quick dinner. There's like no cooking involved really. It just takes longer to a little bit of time to assemble these and bake them. But I mean, even still though, it's a really easy dinner, very kid friendly. My whole family enjoyed these, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left after dinner last night. I ate 3 of these. They're really good. I had 3. I think one or both of my kids came back for seconds. I don't remember, but so these are left over. These will reheat really easily, I think, in the air fryer, or you can put them back in the oven, but the air fryer would be the quickest way, I think, to reheat these. So I'll write the recipe down in the description box if you want to make these yourself. Also, I wanted to talk about toppings or filling, not toppings. I think Hawaiian would be really good too. My husband suggested that last night. If you get like the crushed pineapple, drain it really well, and get some really thin ham, maybe some lunch meat, and just slice it really thin, you know, cut it up really thin, so that, because you can't fit very much in these. That's kind of the difficulty with these, because you don't have very much space to work with inside, you know. But even so, these are really good. These are a hit. I'm definitely going to be making these quite a bit more, I'm sure, in the cooler months coming up, because, you know, they have to go in the oven. But overall, 10 out of 10, really good. I love this recipe. My family does too. I think yours will also. Again, a really good filling treat dinner after the kids' long day at school. So I don't know, just an idea, but this is what came to mind when I saw this recipe. I was like, oh, that'd be really good, you know, to make, because my kids really enjoy pizza and my husband too. So I just thought it'd be really good. So I'm rambling, I'm gonna stop. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for tuning in to my video. If you're new here, welcome. I really appreciate your support, and keep coming back for more. So have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.